Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine. Dear students, today we will read the seventh chapter of your book Behive. The name of the chapter is Packing. It is written by Jerome K. Jerome. Jerome K. Jerome was an English novelist and playwright. He was born in 1859 and died in 1927. He is best known for his comic travelogue. His first book was published in 1885. The name of the book was On the Stage and Off. He wrote Three Men in a Boat in 1889. Dear students, this lesson, Packing, it is an extract taken from Jerome K. Jerome's novel Three Men in a Boat. It is a humorous extract about the confusion and mess created by people who are inexperienced in the art of packing. It exposes the utter clumsiness of the three friends, Jerome, George, and Harris. They considered themselves to be skilled in the art of packing, but in reality, all of them have a little knowledge about working in an organized manner. Montmorency, the dog, also create mess. So, dear students, if we do not have any experience of packing, then we do packing like this. Packing is also an art. So, this is the book. This is the novel, Three Men in a Boat, written by Jerome K. Jerome. So, this lesson is an extract taken from this novel. I am going to tell you about something about this novel. In this novel, the three friends, Jerome, Harris, and George, they are sitting together and they are discussing about the ailment. Actually, they believe that they are suffering from some kind of medical ailment. They are suffering from some kind of disease. So after discussion, they conclude that they were tired of their hectic schedule. So they decided to go for a trip, and they wanted fresh air and quietness. They wanted a change. So that's why they decided to go for a trip, and they decided to go for a parting trip. And during the trip, when they meet different people, when they visit different places, they create confusion and humor everywhere. So it is very interesting lesson, and this lesson shows that it tells us that before starting for a trip, one should plan and prepare oneself for it at first. For proper packing of goods and articles, experience as well as knowledge both are needed. Travel light is the motto one should follow if one wants to enjoy the trip. Of course, for the sake of fun, we must enjoy by reading this account of packing performed by the three gentlemen. Three gentlemen, Jerome, Harris, and George. So you will find this lesson very humorous. So let us start the lesson. These are the words meaning. You can see them. This is the first passage. Let us start the lesson. I said I would pack. I here is Jerome K. Jerome. I rather pride myself on my packing. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many of these subjects there are. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely, means totally, completely to me. They fell into the suggestion means agreed or accepted the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. Uncanny means strange. George put on the pipe and spread himself over the easy chair, and Harris cocked his legs. Cocked his legs means bent his legs on the knee, as he said, or you can say spread his legs and put on the table and lit a cigar. So At the very starting, the writer says that he announced that he would do the packing. He thought, Jerome thought that his ability to pack luggage was better than others. He asked his friends George and Harris to leave the entire matter of packing on him. The two friends agreed. They fell into the suggestion, means they agreed, they accepted the suggestion to his to his offer. They accepted his offer, and what did they do? The offer was very strange. Uncanny means strange. And then what did they do? George sat comfortably on the easy chair, and Harris bent his knees as he sat on the sofa, and he kept his feet on the table and lit a cigar. It means that both felt relaxed and they accepted the suggestion of Jerome that he would pack. After that, what happened? This was hardly what I intended. Jerome, intended means planned or desired, wished. What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job and that Harris and George should potter. Potter means do some unimportant things about under my directions. I pushing them aside every now and then with, "Oh, you here? Let me do it." There you are, simple enough, really teaching them, as you might say. They're taking it in the way they did irritate me. There is nothing that irritates me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I am working. So, here, when they accepted the suggestion of Jerome that he would pack, then the Jerome says that he did not mean that his friends would sit and relax while he would do the work. He had meant that he would boss upon them while they would do all the work, all the unimportant work. He would nag them, he would scold them, he would curse them for not knowing the work well. He would sort out the mess that they would create. Actually, he wanted to correct them. He was irritated to see them sitting while he did all the work. He was working, they were sitting. Then this time he was feeling irritated because he wanted to boss the job, but they sat comfortably and he was doing alone the work. It irritated the writer most. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad. Mad means very angry, mad with anger. That way. He would lie on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now I am not like that. I can't sit still, still means calm, and see other men slaving and working. I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pockets and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature. I can't help it. So here the writer, the Jerome recollects an incident. He recollects that once he lived with a man who would sit lazily on the sofa all day through and would watch the writer do all the work. The man would say that he enjoyed watching him go around doing all the work. This would make the writer mad with anger. The writer says that he could not sit still, idle, or calm and watch others work like slaves. On the other hand, he liked to check their work, walk around with his hands in his pocket. Actually, he wanted to boss the job. He wanted to put the hands in his pocket and he wanted to supervise everything and direct them on how to do the work properly. He feels that as he was energetic, it was a part of his nature to become in that manner, to behave in that manner. Actually, he did not want to sit idle. He wanted to boss the job, but he didn't want to do the work alone. After that, what happened? However, However, I did not say anything but started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last and sat on it and strapped it. Strapped means closed it. So the writer did not say anything to his friends because they were sitting lazily, they were comfortably on the sofa and the easy chair. He did not say anything to them and started packing because there was no any option. He himself had offered them to pack. As he closed it, strapped it, then what happened when he strapped it, closed it? "Aren't you going to put the boat in?" said Harris. Then Harris said that whether he had packed his boots in that bag, and uh, he reminded him that he had forgotten to pack the boots. Harris reminded the writer. And I looked around and found I had forgotten them. That was just like Harris. He didn't have said a word until I had got the bag shut and strapped, of course, and George laughed. One of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. They do make me so wild. So the writer says that when he saw that really he had forgotten to pack the bag, so he felt that Harris could have reminded him before he had closed the bag. But he thought that Harris was like that. This was followed by an irritating laughter of George. George started laughing, which made Jerome so wild with anger. Then what happened? I I opened the bag and packed the boots in, and then, just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush or not. So what happened when he again put the boot in it? Then he was about to close the bag again. Then he reminded that Jerome, when opened the bag and kept the boot in it, and then he was about to close the bag. That time he was struck by a strange thought that he had not kept his toothbrush. Whether he kept it or not, he was confused. So he said that he never remembered if he had packed the toothbrush or not. Then what happened? My toothbrush, my toothbrush is a thing that haunts means gives trouble me when I am traveling and makes my life a misery. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration. Perspiration means sweat, pasina. And get out of bed and hunt for it. Hunt means search for it. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. And it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. So here the writer recollects an incident. He says that he always forgets to take his brush, and it always gives troubles while traveling. He says that while traveling he always messes up with carrying his toothbrush. He has a nightmare of not having packed the brush. He wakes up in a sweat and looks for it. Hunts for it means looks for it, search for it in the morning. He packs it before using it. So after that, again he in the morning he packs it before brushing his teeth. Then unpacks the bag to get the brush again and uses it. as it is the last thing that comes out of the bag, and he has repacked the bag, so he forgets packing the toothbrush again. At last, what happened? Last moment, he rushes to the room to get the brush, and finally, he wraps it in his handkerchief and carries it to the railway station in his hand. Actually, he always, toothbrush always gives the writer a trouble. Whenever he goes to a trip, he forgets. And in the morning, again, he opens the bag and picks the brush out, and after that repacks the bag. After that, again he forgets to pack it in the bag, and at the last moment he again go to the room, he again goes to the room, and he brings the brush in her handkerchief, in his handkerchief. So he, then what happened next? Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now. Now the writer, when he is packing, then then idea comes in his mind that he has forgotten his brush. Then again he opens the bag and turn every mortal thing, means every ordinary things out of the bag. And of course, I could not find it. I remissed. Remissed means in a hurried way. The things up into much the same state that they must have been before the world was created. And when chaos means disorder, or you can say mess, rain means ruled. Of course, I found George and Harris 18 times over, but I could not find my own. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more. Now, what happened? Now, as the Jerome was looking for his toothbrush in the bag, he had to remove every ordinary thing. He could not find his brush. He created a mess. He finds his friend's brush many times, but could not find his own brush. He kept everything back into the bag one by one, shaking each item. शेकिंग मीन्स हर चीज़ को वो हिला हिला के उसको ढूंढ रहा था अपने ब्रश को. एंड फाइनली फाउंड द ब्रश इनसाइड ए बूट. देन वंस अगेन ही रिपैक्ड द बैग. So at last he found his toothbrush in his boot. Then again he repacked the bag. Again he put everything in the bag. Before that he has created mess. Everything was everywhere there was a chaos, disorder. And now he packed the bag again. Then what happened? When I finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. I slammed the bag shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it, and I had to reopen it. It got shut up finally at 10:05 p.m., and there remained the hampers to do. Hampers means here baskets. Harris said that we should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time, and then thought that he and George had better do the rest. And I agreed and sat down, and they had a go. So what happened? And now when he again closed the bag, then George asked if the soap was there inside the bag. As Jerome was impatient, he replied that he was not concerned if the soap was there or not. He closed the bag, lid, and strapped the bag. Then he realized that he had packed his spectacles in the bag, and again he had to open it again. and to get his spectacles. He opened the bag again. Finally, bag was closed at 10:05 p.m. Then what happened? Then he had to pack the food basket, Sam Smith's basket. Harry said that they were left less than 12 hours to leave. They should pack the basket as well because there was no time left, so they had to pack the baskets also, food baskets also. Harris decided that food baskets would be packed by him and George. He said that both would pack the food basket, George and Harris, because the rest packing was done by Jerome. Jerome agreed. So he agreed to take his turn for some rest while his friends started packing the baskets. So dear students, the next lesson we will do in our next video. Read it again. Thank you.